Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Symphonic Warrior deck profile for August 2017. A couple of you responded and asked me to do an update to this deck, which it is a pretty fun deck. I got the latest support in Raging Tempest, and thought I'd just do an update to the deck with the release of Link, monsters. It's changed basically how the deck plays, not so much reliant on the Pendulum Summon mechanic. It's still really cool that it has that mechanic to begin with, but it still makes use of, big monster swarm, and then we use those monsters that are on the field to, in a sense, make our Link monsters to get out some much cooler plays, or in a sense, just, one special summon monster at a time. But to start off, pretty standard, the 3 Symphonic Warrior Mikes. Mikes is your level 5 Pendulum monster. Unless you have a Symphonic Warrior in the other Pendulum zone, this card's scale becomes 4. And once per turn during your end phase, you can target one of your banished Symphonics and add it to your hand. So it's an add back card after, using one of your banished Symphonic Warrior effects from the other ones that we run in the deck. You can add them back to your hand to reuse again. And he has an additional normal summon effect. If this card was special summon, you can special summon this card from your hand by removing 3 symphonic counters from the field. After you normal or special summon this card, you can normal summon 1 monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summon. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So in a way, it's a sort of Seraphonite for that additional normal summon, which leads to easy normal summon, special summon plays from your hand, manipulating this guy with either your tuners that you use, since he, guitar, and Synthis are your non-tuners, means that you can go for some pretty crazy synchro or exceed plays depending on what you do. And 3 Symphonic Warrior Guitar. When this card's normal summon, you can add 1 Symphonic Warrior in your graveyard. You can target it and special summon it. And the scale effect is you can discard 1 card to special summon 1 Symphonic monster from your deck, except for Guitar. You can only use this effect once per turn. So Guitar and Mikes are scale of 1 and 7, but they both have good effects that rely not so much on the Pendulum Summon aspect, but more on the search and special summon from the deck, which really helps just gaining a lot of monsters on your field. And the discard means most of the time you're going to want to go for Symphonic Warriors in your hand for the discard, so you can then later on use them in the graveyard for their own effects. Also, 3 Synthis. This card is a flip effect of adding 1 Symphonic monster from your deck to your hand, except for Synthis. And once per turn, you can target 1 monster you control or in your graveyard whose original name includes Symphonic Warrior, except for Synthis. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes that monster's original name, and replace this card's effect with that monster's effects. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one of your banished Symphonic monsters, except for Synthis, and special summon it. So a flip effect, along with an additional amazing effect of copying and summoning back. All 3 of these guys just work so well together for the special summoning aspect. That was the one thing that the tuner Symphonic monsters were lacking, but these 3 definitely made up for that in that sense, with the fact that they have such easy ways to get out themselves and other monsters. Moving on. 3 Symphonic Warrior Drums. He's my favorite of the 3 tuners. That's why I'm running 3 of him. Once per turn, you can declare 1 attribute, select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior monster on the field. That monster becomes that attribute. You can declare 1 attribute and remove from play this card from your graveyard. Select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior monster you control, make it that attribute. He's also a level 2, which means he's the most useful back and forth with all your monsters, going for many different synchro monsters that you can go for. Attribute also helps just for that basis, meaning you can go for a lot of different things in your extra deck by changing the attribute. So take that into mind when I go through the extra deck, because you could literally run anything you want preference-wise in the extra deck. Also, 2 Symphonic Warrior Piano. This card is you declare a monster type and select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior monster on the field. That monster becomes that monster type, and you can declare 1 monster type and remove from play this card from your graveyard. Select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior you control and make it that monster type. So, in the sense, drums was the attribute, piano is the type, and moving on to basis, which we also run 2 of, is the level 1, which lets you select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior on the field, increase its level by the number of cards in your hand, and increase lasts until the end of the turn. And then you can remove from play this card from your graveyard, select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior monster you control, and increase its level by the number of cards in your hand. So both have the level increasing effect, so level, type, and attribute taken into account with all these. Just too good, especially the level adjustment. And basis is easy because you can get them out with 1 for 1 for the special summon, so you have tons of key plays you can do with those cards. And then for the Symphonic Warrior engine of the deck, I run 3 Pilica, Descendant of Gusto. When it's normal or special summon, you can target 1 Wind Tuner in your graveyard, special summon that target in face-up defense. Its effects are negated. If you activate this effect, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for wind monsters. You can only use this effect of Pilica once per turn. So your targets are obviously basses, piano, and drums. Maybe you can go for some, if you go for piano and exceed summon using Gusto in it, or synchro summoning going for basses or drums, depending on what you want to do in that situation. And also I run 2 Spirit of the Fall Wind. This card allows you, when it's normal summon, to add 1 flip monster from your deck to your hand, searching out Synthis, which most of the time I will end up going for the Fall of the Wind, add that to my hand, and either go for the Pendulum summon to get Synthis out on the field, or in another sense have turn to wait and use it for a set so I can get the flip effect later on. Also, 1 Dandelion, just another good card, in a sense, for the extra special summoning. It helps on the discards as well, for the cost of, basically, what was it? Guitar. By discarding 1 card to special summon, you'll get the tokens off. And 1 Hedgehog helps with the tuner sense, same with the discard cost for guitar. And Zephyros allows for the bouncing of the Symphonic Warrior Pendulums to special summon. I just like all 3 of these guys for that engine. This deck does remind me of a Synchron based deck, and these 3 just are pretty much staple standard in that deck as well. And that is it for the monster lineup. We'll move on to the spells. I run 3 Symp Amplifier. Each time an effect of a Symphonic Warrior monster is activated, you place 1 Symphonic counter on this card. When this effect resolves, all Symphonic Warrior monsters on the field gain 100 attack for each Symphonic counter on this card. Once per turn, you can remove 5 or 7 Symphonic counters on the field and apply this effect depending on the amount of Symphonic counters removed. If you remove 5, you inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Symphonic Warrior card on the field. The best one is the 7 counters if you can build it up. You banish cards in your opponent control or in their graveyard up to the number of Symphonic Warrior cards on the field. So the banish effect is very powerful. You can pretty much clear out your opponent depending on how consistent you're going with your plays. Other than that, it's a great heavy search that I want to get out really fast. That's why I run 2 Terraforming, pretty standard, just to grab the card when I need it. And the 1 emergency teleport is for the Pilica to special out and then go off the special summon from the graveyard. 1 for 1 to grab the basis. And then Upstart Goblin for the extra draws after the searches. And then 1 limiter removal. All the Symphonic Warriors are machine, so you can pretty much go powerful with their double attack there. 1 Book of Moon, just for the extra spell staple. Foolish Burial helps to get the Symphonic Tuners in the graveyard to banish to use their level type and attribute effects. And Soul Charge, plenty of monsters in the graveyard to just, not run this. You make full use of your graveyard in this deck. And 1 Dark Hole, it could be Regeki as well, whichever one you prefer. If you have the Regeki, use that. If not, Dark Hole is the next best thing. And then for traps, pretty standard trap lineup, just 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Torrential Tribute, and 1 Solemn Warning. And that finishes up the main deck. For the extra, now I don't have Haster on me right now, so Baomong was replacing it, but you definitely want Haster for the fact that it is a wind monster, and you can put it in since it's good to use with the Pilica and the basis special summon. That's your level 4 wind monster. Can't do it with Baomong, so if you have a Haster, definitely swap those 2 out for that. And 1 Chanbara, another wind target, level 5. 1 Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon. Would probably take this out for a level 6 wind replacement if I could. 1 Ancient Pixie Dragon for the field spell usage. 1 Clearwing. 1 Black Rose. 1 Psyframe Lord Omega. 1 Lightning Chidori. 1 Totem Bird for the wind rank plays there. Same goes for Levier and Castel. And then for the Link monsters, run 1 Link Spider just for the use with the tokens on the Dandelion. 1 Firewall Dragon. You can get plenty of monsters out in the field, so make good use of Firewall Dragon. Same goes for the 2 Decode Talkers, just because there are times, very rarely, where you can Pendulum Summon from the extra deck. You want to grab them back, and this card just comes in handy if you can use your effect monsters that are already on the field to make use of that special summon. Yeah, but anyway, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. As always, I'm always looking for recommendations on what to do for my updates or new deck profiles. So if you have them, please be sure to comment down in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely look into it. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and Kira Twig out.